Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. So let's start off with going over what we did yesterday. So yesterday we began to speak about heavy and light isms. And we mentioned two things. Number one is that a ism by default is what? Heavy. Sorry? A ism by default is heavy. And that we said that an ism can be one of two things when it comes to heavy and light. Number one is heavy. Number two is light. Pretty straightforward. And number one we said is that if it's heavy, it means one of two things. Number one is that it ends in una, ina, ani, or aini. Or number two, it is going to end in tanween. So by default, we again said isms are heavy unless proven light. And we said, how do we know if something is light? Well, it depends on the flexibility. Number two is that a light ism is when the noon sound, number one is that the noon sound is missing at the end, una, ina, ani, or aini, that it lacks. So instead of being una, it's u. Instead of being ina, it's e. Instead of being ani, it's an. And then instead of being aini, it's ain. And then the second is that it does not end in tanween. It only has one haraka at the end. And then we also said that an ism will be light when it is mudaf. We don't know what mudaf means yet. And also, when alif lam comes at the beginning of an ism, the tanween drops. So muslimun, if I add an alif lam, becomes al-muslimu. I did some Quranic examples. Next, we started speaking about flexibility. Now, when it comes to flexibility, we mentioned that there are three categories of flexibility. Number one, fully flexible. Number two is non-flexible, and number three is partly flexible. Now, when it comes to words that are fully flexible, it means that they can be rafa, nasab, or jar. That's what the definition is. And we mentioned what? That by default, all isms are fully flexible unless proven otherwise. So again, there has to be a reason for it to be anything else besides fully flexible. What type of isms are considered fully flexible? Number one are any isms with tanween. Any isms with tanween. So kitabun, rajulun, salamun, kathibun. Number two are three-letter names. Nuhun, lutun. Number three are Arab prophets. We said any Arab name for the most part is going to be considered fully flexible. It has tanween on it. And that if it's a non-Arab name, but it has three letters, this should actually be non-Arab names with three letters. I would correct that if I were you. I'll go back and correct that. It should be non-Arab names with three letters. And number four, it's isms with alif lam. Isms with alif lam. Number two, non-flexible isms. You don't know their status by just looking at the word. So Musa, Wusta, Isa, just some of them. There's only one category of non-flexible words, and that is those that have alif maksura at the end of them. Number three are partly flexible words. They can be rafa or nasab in clear sight, but will not be jar in clear sight. They will never ever have jar, or they will never have a kasra. And they will always be light and never ever get tanween. A partly flexible word will always be light and never get tanween. There are two types of partly flexible isms. Number one are non-Arab names. For example, my name is Nihal. Nihal is not necessarily an Arab name. It is a Farsi name. So it will be just with a one haraka, not tanween. If someone's name is, for example, Adam. Adam is not an Arab name. So it is Adamu. Now you may be asking me, well, isn't Adam three letters, right? Alif, dal, mim. Not really. The alif on Adam, it's stretched, right? It has the mad on top, the thing that stretches it on top. So that's actually two alifs. It's alif, alif, dal, mim. It's more than three letters. And then two are specific places. Mecca, Ta'if, Atlanta, Suwani, Alpharetta. They're all specific places. If they were to be written in Arabic, you would only put one haraka, not two harakas, meaning it would not be tanween. And then we began to finally speak about number, the number of the ism. And we mentioned what? That number one, there are three forms. Well, that there are three forms. Number one are singular isms, two are dual isms, and three are plural isms. And we mentioned that with plural isms, there are two categories of plural isms. The first one are sound plurals. Sound plurals are those that end in una, ina, atun, or atin. Meaning what? To dumb it down, it's on the chart which we went over. It's on the chart which we went over. And then sound plurals can be broken down into what? Either singular, right? I'm sorry, either masculine or feminine. Sound plurals can be broken down into masculine or feminine. And then we mentioned this chart. So this chart shows what? This chart shows that this category, plural category, that it shows it in a specific light. So muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, is it a sound plural or a broken plural? Sound plural, because it's on the chart. How about here? Muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. Sound plural. So what if I have a chart which is not, for example, if I have a plural which is not on the chart, is it going to be considered a sound plural? If I have a plural that's not on this chart, it can't fit on this chart, is it going to be considered a sound plural? It's going to be broken plural, but it can't be sound plural, right? That's what it is. It can't be a sound plural because it's not on this chart. So then we spoke about broken plurals, and we mentioned what? That broken plurals only apply to plurals, and that a plural is considered broken when it does not follow the regular plural chart. And we just went over that. To know Arabic means you know broken plurals, and all broken plurals are considered singular in number and feminine in gender. So if I ask you, rusulun, which means messengers, right? And I ask you, what is the number and the gender of it? You tell me that the number is singular and the gender is feminine, because that's how it is treated. And then I gave this example that Maryam and Isra have several pens. They both write with all of her. After taking her from Brother Nihal, they found out all of her were not the same color. Speaking about the pens. The pens themselves are considered what? Singular, because I'm only speaking about one, and the gender is feminine because I'm speaking about broken plurals. So that was what we had gone over yesterday. Any questions? Okay, go ahead and take out your homework. Sheet number 2 and sheet number 3. Number 1, as-salimu. What is it? Why? Very good. Alif lam. Number 2, duha.
Non-flexible.
Non-flexible. Why? Because alif maksura, not alif lam. Good. Number 3, makkata. Hold on. Flexible?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like fully flexible, partly flexible, non-flexible. Everything flexible. No, okay. Makkata, because it is. Because so if it was a town, it would be fully flexible, right? But if since it's a city, it's okay.
It's partly flexible.
Okay.
Because it's a town or city.
Okay, good. What if it was a road?
A road?
Yeah, I'm joking. So, right, because it is a specific place. Number 4, Muhammadan. Fully flexible. Why? Arab name.
Arab prophet.
Huh?
Arab prophet.
Arab prophet. I'll take Arab name. Sallallahu. Well, you don't have to Sallallahu because we don't know which Muhammad they're talking about. It's just a name. We don't know which one we're talking about. Yeah. Abdin. Why? But there's an ayn at the beginning. Good. All right. Number 6, Isa.
Non-flexible.
Non-flexible. Why? Because alif maksura. Number 7, kalimatun. Fully flexible. Why? Tanween. Good. 8, al-jundu. Okay. Fully. Why? Alif lam. Good. Number 9, partly flexible. Why? Non-Arab name. Good. Number 10, fully flexible. Why? Huh? Alif lam. Good. Number 11, ruhun. Fully flexible. Why? Tanween. Good. Ta'ifa. Partly flexible. Why? Because it's a? Does one person knows the answer? Good. Number 13, husna. Non-flexible. Why? Alif maksura. Good. Qaribun. What is it? Okay, good. 15, Islamun. Fully flexible. Why? Tanween. Good. Let's go to the second sheet. Circle either singular, dual, sound, or broken plural. Saliman. Singular. Good. Khasmani. Good. Why? Ani. Good. Sudurun.
No, it's a broken.
Very good. Very good. You guys wouldn't necessarily know this, but it's just there to see if you have the ability to comprehend it. So, like, if you put this on an exam, you wrote singular, and I wouldn't mark it wrong because you haven't conceptualized it, but it's there to challenge you. Fi'ataini. Dual. Good. Munafiqina. Sound plural, but it ends in noon. Very good. You need to be confident in yourself. You need to say, when I ask you munafiquna, you need to say plural, not plural. Okay, there's a difference between both of them. Big difference. Munafiqina is a sound plural. Good. Why? Ina. Good. Hadani. Why? Ani. Kalimatun. Good. Muslimun. Good. Ibrahimu. Singular. But it's imu. Singular. Good. Abidatun. Sound. What type of plural? Just for extra points. Masculine or feminine? Feminine. Good. Ruhun. Singular. Good. Sa'atani. Dual. Why? Good. Kutubun. Good. It's actually a broken plural. Kutubun is the plural of kitab. Kutubun is the broken plural of kitab. Jannatun. Singular. What's the plural of this?
Jannah.
Good. Jannat. Hasidin. Singular. Good. Is that all? Okay. Any questions? Turn to page number. Sorry? Sure. Go to page number 47, chapter 4. 47. Okay. Okay. Chapter number 4, gender. Gender. All nouns in the Arabic language are either masculine or feminine. This is true even though the ism may be an object that has no biological or female indication. The gender of the ism will play a very significant role in different areas of grammar, as we'll see in later chapters, so it's important to know the difference between both. So generally in the English language, what are we used to? We're used to words not having a specific gender. We don't even speak about it. We don't know whether a table is masculine or feminine, or computer, or wallet, or pen. We don't know if it has any gender because in English they don't use it in that way. But in the Arabic language, knowing the gender of a word is very, very important, because knowing the gender of the word causes it to attract other pronouns and other verbs that go with the gender. The gender is what combines many words in a sentence. You know who's talking about what, you know who the subject is, you know what the predicate is. Whereas in the English language, you are left to know specifically what is going on in a sentence if you know what it means. Here in the Arabic language, you don't necessarily need to know even what it means, but what you need to know are what the rules are that cause the words to interact with each other. So let's go over some points here. Feminine words. No, actually not feminine words, sorry. Gender. By default, all isms are masculine unless proven feminine. Okay? By default, all isms are masculine unless proven feminine. So what we're really here, so what are we really studying then? We're actually just studying how to see if a word is feminine. And I'll reiterate it. Words can have, an ism will have one of two genders, masculine or feminine. Meaning every single word must have a gender. You can't say that a word is genderless or neutral. There's no such thing as that. Every word is considered masculine unless proven feminine. So, for example, now here, let's go over here for gender. Hold on. Ground rules. Century. Traditional. All right. How to tell if a word is feminine? There are three ways. The first way, you already know it. How do you tell if a word is feminine? Good. Ends in tamarvuta. It ends in tamarvuta. Okay, buddy. You know, you would think that by 2014 they can make Microsoft Word a little bit more Arabic friendly, but they just won't.
How are you writing it?
Actually, so the one thing is that anyone who has Microsoft, if you have Microsoft Windows, any of the Windows, I think after 7, you just go into Control Panel, add keyboard, add Arabic. It's already there, yeah. So ends in ta marbuta. So I'll write some words out for you guys. Jannatun, for example. Right, Jannatun. Izzatun. Got any others? Salatun. Do you guys know any other words that end in ta marbuta? Sorry? Aqibatun. Good. What else? Good. Muslimatun. How about salihatun? How about farhatun? Right, in Urdu, someone's name Farhat. Nusratun. There you go. Rahmatun. So the list goes on. Any word ending in ta marbuta. The second rule. If it ends in alif maqsura. If it ends in alif maqsura. So for example, Bushra. Husna. Uzma. Wusta, which means middle path. Right, these are all common names you know, but they ended in alif maqsura. So they're considered what? Feminine. Now here's a question. What's the question coming to your mind?
No, Musa.
So male names that end in alif maqsura. So grammatically, what are they considered technically? Because of this rule. They would be considered feminine. But because they're names of men, obviously we consider it masculine. So for example, there are names we mentioned like Musa. Right? Musa, Isa. Good enough. So the general rule is that you generally consider them masculine because it's men who have these names. I'm going to go up a little bit. There are some names that also end in ta marbuta. For example, actually, let me ask you, do you guys know of any names that end in ta marbuta for men? Who, they, fa, Hudhayfatun. How about Abu Huraira? Abu Hurairatin. Or an Abi Hurairata. Sorry. So this also is two. Gives a specific name. So there are those names are considered what? They're considered grammatically, they're seen as feminine, but they're considered masculine just because it's a masculine name. And the same rule is going to apply for female names. We're going to go over it today. So Musa, Isa, etc. That's the third category. No, that's the second category, sorry. Third category is ends in alif mamduda, which is this thing. For example, sawa'un bayda'un walillahil asma'ul husna. Asma. Okay. There you go. Asma. Okay. You have it in your book here. Okay. So there are some exceptions to the above rule. There are some exceptions to the above rule, but we're not going to get into it right now for time's sake, and they're not that relevant to you. Now, what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to add one more category of words. There is one more category of words which are feminine. Feminine. And they are words which don't look feminine. Actually, hold on. Makes point number 4. There's one more category of words which are feminine, words which don't look feminine, but are used with feminine, but are used with women. For example, and let me ask you, what were the 3 ways I can tell if something is feminine? Number 1 is ta marbuta. Number 2 is alif maqsura. Number 3, alif mamduda. Okay? There's one more category which they're feminine, but they don't look feminine. For example, ummun. What does it mean? Mother. How do you say daughter? Bintun. Daughter. How do you say sister? Ukhtun. Do you know how to say? So those are some words which refer to that sister. For example, in Arabic, when a woman is pregnant, they refer to her as the following, as hamilun. Hamil. Hamilatun is common, but more traditionally they use hamil. You can use either, but usually in old Arabic it was hamil, because you know why? A man cannot become pregnant, only a woman can become pregnant, so there's no point in using the feminine, because the idea is what? The idea is that you use the feminine if you can't use the masculine. Here, you can use hamil generally for anyone who's carrying something. For example, hamilu shay, he's carrying something, or hamilatu shay, she's carrying something else. But when it's referring to specifically in the context of pregnancy, they refer to her as hamil. Here's another one. Ajuzun. Ajuzun refers to an old woman, right? Is there any sign of it being feminine? Just by looking at the word, there is not. I'll add another one. عاقر. A woman who cannot give birth anymore. They don't look feminine, but they have feminine. They have feminine characteristics. Number 5. Number 5. Body parts in pairs. I may have mentioned this to you guys from before. For example, yadun, your hand. Rijlun, your foot. Rijlain, yadain. Ainun, your eye. Udhunun, your ear. Alam naj'al lahu aynayn, and did we not make for him 2 eyes, aynayn, wa lisanan wa shafatayn, your lips. Shafatayn, well, shafatun is the lip.
So only those body parts have pairs, they are feminine.
Yep. Because there's nothing here that makes it stand out as feminine. Again, what's the default way of finding if a word is feminine? Those 3 ways. Those 3 ways. Are default. 3 ways are default. I'm going to make it red so that there's a default ways. The other ways, extra ways, extra words which are feminine. Extra groups of words. Okay, that's that. I'll make it blue. Body parts in pairs. And then one more. Number 6, assumed feminine words. Anyone know what these are? What are the assumed feminine words? Do you know? Page 52, go to it. 52. This is going to be your vocab for today, so I'll go over it now. I don't understand why it does this.